Welcome back to Out of the Box Church Podcast. I'm Pastor Dustin. Thanks for joining back here again. And I have an exciting guest today, somebody that's a blast from my past and I hope doesn't share all of my secrets about our family. Somebody that's been around our family for a long time, actually helped raise our 3 boys. Yeah. I have Miss Brooke here with us today. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm excellent. I'm so excited to have you on today because we can have a little reminiscing of times from the past so people get to know a little bit about us and how we were when we were younger as well. I'm sure you got some stories to share. But at the same time, I had you on because I heard about what you're doing in the community, and I think it's important that people know about what's going on. I'm proud of you. I think it's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a great little community thing that we started, and it's gotten significantly bigger than I ever could have dreamed. So it's been wonderful.
Well, praise God. It's awesome. Well, before we jump into that, so we're going to be talking about that here in just a little bit, but we want a little bit more about Brooke. Who is Brooke? Okay. So let's talk about you,
That's a great question.
Let's talk about you. You're from Tuttle.
Yes, so, I'm a Tuttle girl, which when I tell people that in Blanchard, they're like, oh boy, what a rivalry.
Secretly inside, do you really root for Tuttle though sometimes?
I do. I know. But
I'm from Newcastle, but I can honestly say I don't root for them at one bit at all, actually.
Well, all my family live in Tuttle. I'm the only one who doesn't. Yeah. So, and all my nieces and nephew, they all go to Tuttle. And so I root because of them. If none of them were there, I probably wouldn't. But
I understand.
I do root for Tuttle for them. Okay. If Blanchard wins, I'm happy. If Tuttle wins, I'm happy.
I kind of feel that way about OU and OSU, honestly.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I want that when they play head up, I really root a little bit more for OU, but I like them both.
Yeah.
So
I joke I have to vote for OU because I still owe them a lot of money.
Oh. That's right. You went there.
Yeah. But any other place, I want OSU to win.
And, so Tuttle, then you went to OU.
Yes.
And you were at a sorority there as well.
Yes. I went to Alpha Gamma Delta.
And what did you go for there?
So I was pre-med, biochemistry.
Yeah.
And went to go to medical school. And then kind of in my senior year, I had a moment of, do I really want to do this? I really wanted to go to OU. Yeah. And I applied there and they ghosted me. Well, I didn't hear anything from them. And my second choice was Baylor. Okay. And Baylor did reach out for an interview, but it was just such a huge commitment to move and to do all the things. And one of my really good mentors said, well, take a year off and work. And if you love working, then you made the right choice. And if not, you got into med school once, you can do it again.
That's good.
So that's what I did. And then I loved working and I was really excited that I didn't wait until like my 3rd year med school and be like, this is not for me.
That's good. That's good. So like after you started working, what all did you start doing? Because you're doing real estate, you're doing all kinds of things, home building, all kinds of stuff. So let's talk about that a little bit.
So the first thing that I did was I worked for a home builder, and he was kind of a smaller home builder, but he was big enough to where, we're constantly busy. Yeah. And I worked as a salesman for him. And if you work for a builder, you don't have to have a real estate license, which is really nice. Yeah. You just use their state contract.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I was glad I didn't have to do any of that, but I became really close with his daughter. And he really wanted her to run the business. And so I think to get her involved with it, he always included me because I think it made it a little more enjoyable for her. Yeah. And he sent us to conferences all over and everything. And he was a really great teacher. He was. Cool. And I sold a lot of custom homes. And so I got to see the whole process in that. And he really taught me a lot. And then after about a year of working for him, I said, you know what? I think I want to do this myself. I'm going to build my own home. And I want you to kind of guide me through it. And he was like, okay. Cool. He fully was like, do your thing. Yeah. So I built a home in Blanchard, but really Bridge Creek area, and loved the process. And I was like, that was really fun. But I never saw myself doing anything like that. I wanted to get into medical sales, which I did. I worked for a company in Chickasha called Ross Healthcare selling home health and hospice. And I fell in love with it. I never thought I would do that. Yeah. So I've been doing that for 8 years. Okay. I got out of it for a little bit because I got burn out a little bit. It was a lot, especially, when I was going through a hard time in my life. And so I started in medical device sales, which I love a lot, but it's a lot of travel. Yeah. So I'm actually getting back into hospice sales. Okay. So I'm excited for that. But my mom is a hospice nurse.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. That makes sense. Whenever I was a kid, I went with her to see patients. Like if there was a snow day, like hospice nurses don't get snow days.
I could see you, but I could see you really thriving in something like that because you do have a big heart for people. And I saw that with our kids, with our boys. We saw that right away, Candace and I. And so I'm sure we'll get to some stories on that in a minute. But that's awesome. That's really good.
Well, the connection that you make with people during the hardest time of their life And if you do it right and you see the change of just like kind of this weight off their shoulder, really makes it like worth all of the hustle and everything.
It's good.
And a lot of people don't know about it. Like that word scares them a lot. And so they hear it and they're immediately like, no, we're not giving up. That's what a lot of people think it is. But it's not. It's not at all. Actually, I've had someone who was on service for 5 years.
Wow.
And we had to take them off and they were so upset because it has a lot of benefits. And it's one of the few things Medicare pays 100% for. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know all that.
Yeah. A lot of people don't. And one of the things is a lot of people don't know how to take care of their parents. Yeah. So they might do a lot and they might be fantastic parents, but when it comes to parenting their own parents,
that's tough.
And making those decisions, especially when siblings come together, you know, there's a lot of different opinions. And
that's always a hard thing to decide when that time is, for people to come in. What do you recommend for people to do in that?
Well, so Medicare says 6 months. That's just technically their thing. But I always say no one knows when you're going to die,
that's
but
true.
God. And I always use a reference. I'm like, I could die on my way home before you. I mean, we really don't know. But when you're appropriate for it, which means you have decided not to do any kind of, you know, extensive care for whatever diagnosis you have. Yeah. And you decide, we always say it's quality over quantity. Yeah. So, and how I always tell people the difference of like home health and hospice is, so home health are your parents. They want you to brush your teeth. They want you to eat healthy and they want you to go to bed on time. Yeah. Hospice is eat cake for breakfast, stay up all night, party hard, whatever you want to do.
You enjoy the time we have left.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good. It's like the fun uncle come in.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
The grandparent.
The grandparent. Yeah, exactly. That's probably a better analogy. Yeah. That's true.
Because grandparents always say yes.
They do, man. I see that. We talk about that, my wife and I talk about that, our kids. It's like the stuff my parents let my kids do now, it's not fair.
You're like, I don't even know who that person is.
It's not the same. Not the same. Yeah. And so let's talk about too. So you're a mom.
Yes.
So let's talk about that as well. So,
yes. So I have 2 step twin daughters that are 15, Haley and Heidi. And then I have a son,
your
CJ.
Hubby over here.
Yes, he's over here
right
joining
here
us. I told him not to look at me, make me nervous. Oh, shout out to Clay.
All right, look away now.
Yes, he's amazing. We got married last year on New Year's Eve. Yes, and he's been such an incredible person in my life. That's awesome.
Yes. And so the little guy,
CJ.
I know, that's wild that he's, how old is he now?
7.
7, wow.
Yeah.
So when you came around, how old were my boys when we first met?
Okay, so Christian was 4.
This is before we moved to New Orleans.
Yeah, you were in Newcastle.
We were in Newcastle.
Mm-hmm. Christian was 4, Aiden was 3, and Preston was 10 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
You were in the peak of all the health issues and stuff.
Yes.
Too.
Yeah.
So it was pretty severe. And I tell people all the time, they're like, what? I'm like, Preston and Aiden, they couldn't even drink anything.
Yeah.
Unless it was
we
thickened.
had to thick. Oh,
everything.
man.
Water.
Everything was so thick. I'm like, I don't know how this little boy's going to suck this out of.
I know. It's like, so it was, you were such a huge blessing to have a part of our life at that time because it was chaotic for us. Yeah. It was so hard. And so I remember, you spent a lot of time and even went to New Orleans with us.
Yes, I did. And Austin.
That's right.
With Candace, yep.
That's right. You went with Candace, and I was gone on a business trip. Yeah.
Yep.
So, you want to talk about that New Orleans experience?
Yeah. I vaguely remember it, but I just remember you guys were so busy, and we did a lot of eating. You guys.
Oh, man.
Yeah, big foodies.
In New Orleans, that's the best place in the world.
Yes, it is. Turn me on beignets. Oh, yeah. I'm obsessed with them.
I forgot about the beignets. Yeah, we took you there. It's good.
We did a lot of sightseeing, too. But I mean, I had usually one of them in hand. I always had Preston. I carried Preston, I think, for 4 years. He was such a mess. Funny. Yeah, he always used to just point and say, over there. Yeah. I'm like, okay, come on.
He was so funny, man. He was a funny kid.
He's the baby. I get it.
Yeah. It was so hard for us in those young years because of the health issues. Preston had, airway surgeries and he had the open heart surgery and, his body
I was with you guys after the open heart surgery.
Because his body was so little bitty tiny.
Yep.
And then he had this giant, we call him the giant blue head, is what you call him from Megamind. But he did. He had a big head and just a little bitty frail body.
Yep.
And then after he had his surgery, his body started catching up. And
he always looked like a baby.
It's never stopped. It's still like going. But he did. He looked like a tiny little guy. Yeah. So when they got his heart fixed, he finally started flourishing and doing well. But it was so tough in those times because even Aiden, he had airway surgeries, multiple airway surgeries. Yep. And so, not be able to send them anywhere, or you had to watch them constantly as they could pick up a cup of water and we're in the emergency room because they had pneumonia immediately. Yeah. I mean, it's just horrible.
Yeah. So, well, and then Christian, I remember he was allergic to all the foods.
Yeah.
One of them,
that's true.
We were having, I'll never forget, we were having breakfast with your sister and he ordered French toast, I think. And I saw in there, it said cinnamon. And I was like, oh my gosh, you are not eating that.
He was allergic.
And I made a big deal about it. I was like, yeah, you're not eating that. We need to send that back.
He had cinnamon, berries.
Yeah, berries.
Shellfish,
well, I'll never forget. Like,
peanut butter.
I think Candace was busy doing something, and I gave Christian like a Greek yogurt with blackberry in it. And I had a list of all the berries. I knew them, but blackberry wasn't one of them. And I was like, Candace, he's kind of turning color. And she came in there and she took him to the emergency room. I was like, add blackberry to that list.
Yeah. It was tough in those days. So I remember that.
Yeah.
So, you have any funny stories that you want to share with anybody?
I don't know specifically, but they honestly were so good. Yeah. They were so good. I'm sometimes Miss Brooke, and I'm like one at a time.
They're vying for your attention all the time. Look at me. Yeah. No, they're funny.
Yeah. I know. I can't believe. So, I've been telling people at the church how I know you guys. And I was like, I used to be their nanny. And I'm like, now Christian's 17. I'm like, I should maybe stop telling people this story. It dates me a little bit.
It's wild that it's been that long.
I know. It's so crazy.
Yeah. Years are flying by.
Yeah, they are. They really are.
Really quick. So anyway, let's get back to where you're at now. And so married for a year.
Yes.
And then a year ago as well, around the same time as when you started this new group.
Yes.
I want to talk about that and let people know what that's about too.
So we started in March of last year of 2024. And it was just about me. And so I also own a home building company, Colton Company Homes, which is named after CJ.
Cool.
And me and my broker, Lindsay Bunch, we were having lunch one day, and she was just, talking to me about, some people that she had to deal with and how rude they were and how unnecessary it was. And we just got to talking that women in business are so competitive with each other. And really, we should be supporting each other. And, we have enough competition, and not just locally, but in the state and everywhere, especially with social media. And that we should really start, women should be empowering other women. It doesn't matter if you compete, there's enough business for everyone to go around. And we got to talk about it, and we were like, we should start a group. And we were like, we should start a group. And then one day she sent me a message, and she was like, okay, I'm starting it. And I was like, wait, not without me. And so I put together this Facebook group and, created it. And we just went through and started adding some people, and we made it open to where people can add each other. And we thought, well, maybe we'll get to 50, And we meet once a month. We try to do something different. Like this last month, we went to support a brand new business in Newcastle. So it's just local. It's Blanchard, Newcastle, and Tuttle, and kind of, the in-betweens. Yeah. And we went to a bungee fitness class. Cadence Howard, she's amazing, but she just started her business. And so we had 2 different classes of the women who signed up. It was so much fun. We were cracking up at each other.
That's good.
And really enjoying it.
So the people that you're basically supporting each other's businesses when you can, but also just sharing and talking about business and different ideas and learning from each other and stuff as well, right?
So every time that we meet, when it is an actual meeting, we always open it with prayer.
Yeah.
And then we introduce ourselves and we talk about what we do. And I started doing these things I called mantras, but they're just little positive things that, everyone reads, and it kind of gets you, positive thinking. I think a lot of us we're like, oh, it's been a bad month. We're not having anything come in. And so it's just, a little bit fun thing that some of the women are really stuck on. And if they don't get one, they're like, you better bring me one. Yeah. And then, once we get through introducing each other, we'll talk about some business things going on. A lot of things we talk about is, networking and social media and trying to help each other with that. Our group is completely free. Yeah. And so if you have something coming out, or if something is new, or you have a new business, we want to promote you as much as we can. Or if you have a special, we want to promote that. Yeah. And we start featuring, we call it Women's Wednesday, where we feature someone new in their business, and we just share it, we comment, because all of that matters on social media and getting the traffic. Absolutely. And it's traffic you wouldn't have had otherwise, and it's all free. Yeah. It's all women supporting each other. That doesn't cost you anything.
That's awesome.
And then we'll do a devotional. And so we kind of wrap up what's going on in business, and then how that works with, our walk in faith, and how if we don't put God first, then, no matter what we try to do in our business or what we try to do in our personal lives, we'll never get anywhere without him first.
Come on. Yeah. Now you're starting to preach a little bit. I like it. It's good.
And I have a little bit, which So getting up in front of everyone and these incredible women who are just huge pillars of the community was so, yes, I was so nervous. And one of them brought her daughter. She's actually another home builder. And she brought her daughter who's in college. And she at the end stood up and she was like, I've never heard women speak the way that you guys are speaking and have an open discussion that you're having. She's, I've understood everything and I love it. I'm going to college for business. And I want to be a part of this group so bad. And I'm like, awesome. Bring it on, girl.
Man, that's so good. I just encourage people all the time. And even in the series we're on right now, the foundational things we're talking about, repentance and faith towards God and all that stuff. We're going through all that stuff right now. But what you just said is really foundational stuff because, you want to build your life and the community you're building upon a solid, good foundation of something that's going to last, something that's going to remain, something that's going to be, lasting, stands the test of time because the storms of life come against us all. And so to have, more people around you in community that, build up and that encourage and keep pointing you in the right direction. We all need that stuff.
Yes.
And so I think it's great what you guys have done and what you're putting together. And I wanted to make it known so other women and people that may get to listen and watch and want to join and be a part of that because I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And, we never thought we'd be over 50 women. But we're over 300 now.
Jeez.
Yeah. So it's grown a lot in a year. And we've been able to support each other so much. And that I think is the biggest thing. And like we have a new chiropractor who when she started, she was really nervous about it, but we've promoted her. She did an amazing Christmas drive to help the community. And we did, all of that. And
that's good.
And we really just try to be good in the community, not just within each other in our businesses, because, we want to be helpful in the community and all those things. But we've had a couple of really incredible speakers come, and they are speakers who charge a lot of money. But we were like, listen, like me and Lindsay, we were like, listen, we don't charge. We don't have any money. And they were like, we got you. These women wanted to come and talk to us.
That's good.
And didn't charge us anything. And it was just so wonderful listening to them. And one of them said something that ever since we listened, I have repeated it to myself and other women when they're, they call me and they're like, a lot of things are going on. And I just feel so busy and lost and I'm physically sick because I have so much anxiety and stress. And what she told us was the foundations of your life are God first, then your family, and then your work.
Absolutely.
And God would never put anything in your life that's meant for you if it made any of those out of order.
That's true.
And so I always think about that. Like, this job that I had, it made me going all over and I was constantly on a plane flying somewhere and I was so stressed about it. And then, I thought, this is not meant for me.
That's right.
Because I'm putting it before my family.
That's true.
And so God first, then my family, and then business. Yeah. And so I've repeated that to a lot of women and they're like, you're so right. Like it just makes you kind of stop and simplify what you're going through and saying it's not meant for me. And sometimes 100%. That's hard to give up. Yeah. But when you're stressing over it and you're making yourself physically ill because of it, you're like, you know what? Yeah. It's not meant for me.
It's true. The Word of God tells us that God won't put more things on us than we can bear.
Yeah.
Or even more temptation than what we can bear. There's without a way of escape and all that stuff. But sometimes, without consulting Him first, putting God first, that means praying about the business that I'm going into or the things that I'm starting or the people that I'm starting it with or whatever that looks like.
Right.
And if I'm trying to bring too many things on at once, we can get ourselves into a position.
Absolutely.
And that's what happens a lot. I lived there for a long time.
Yeah.
I was running nonstop. You kind of vaguely saw, but I was running hard. I was running long hours and building and built a great business that did very well.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like now looking back, was all that worth it? I learned a lot through it all, but at the same time, like, was it stuff that's really lasting?
Right. Absolutely.
You know The important things.
Are those things that actually made me happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
God first and spending time with Him, you're never going to regret that decision.
Right.
You're never going to regret carving out morning time and spending time in prayer, spending time in the Word of God. You're never going to regret that.
Absolutely.
It's always going to produce something good in your life. Right. You're never going to regret carving that same time out with your family.
Yeah.
And centering that around the things of God. You're never going to regret that, making those things a staple in your life. Or, putting God first. Church things. I love having you guys around here and coming and doing what you're doing too. I think it's awesome, but those are important things, and those are eternal things. Yeah. So those are the most important by far. And that's the one thing Candace and I, even early on when in the middle of all that business, we still made those things a priority, but I didn't prioritize them as well as I do now.
Yeah.
Back then when I was running all the business.
Yeah. It's hard.
It's hard. And sick kids and all the things. And it's like, you're trying and we were at church, we were doing the things we needed to do, but like really praying together, Candace and I, really, with our kids, they're pretty young at the time, but
Yeah.
still, and doing the things we need to do and prioritizing that stuff.
Yeah.
That's the most important,
Right.
more than anything else. And those are the eternal lasting things that produce good things in your life, produce the fruits
Yeah.
that we need, produce the patience, the kindness, the goodness, the self-control,
Yeah.
all these things, the closeness to the Lord, so you can hear his voice to make the right business
Yes.
decisions you need. Like without God, man, I don't know where I would be in business or what I would have done. I mean, and I still wasn't doing as good as I could have, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean? That's just critical for us.
Yeah. And also I think we get caught up of, if your business is doing well, you got to do more and you got to do more and you got to do more. And I kind of got there.
Yeah.
And then when I
True.
stopped and paused, I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't actually breathed in a long time. And I haven't allowed myself to have, a slow life. It's constantly fast.
Yeah, it's bigger, go bigger.
Yes.
More,
and more, faster.
I had this conversation with your husband, actually, last time we were together. I believe we were talking about that, of just growing business and how, at the end of the day, when you look at that, I mean, it grew and it was making great money and had lots of employees, but the stress, the extra stuff that put on, and at the end of the day, when everything and all the bills were paid, you're still making
the same amount
as what you would by yourself,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Or one or two. And so it's not worth all that.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to do some of those things. So finding a balance in that and really what's going to be best for your time and your family.
Yeah.
It's really, God's really smart.
Yeah.
And he really knows what's best for us.
He
but
does.
we just don't listen sometimes, or don't prioritize him and his word
We
and
don't
his
take
advice.
the pause to talk to him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And see, these are
And
some
it can
of the things
save
that
years of our frustration in life and health and everything else. If we don't do it that way, you're sacrificing a lot.
And that's kind of some of the things that we talk about in the women's group is, like someone who seems really successful and is doing a lot. And then if you actually take the time to talk to them, where it's not competitive, it's not judgmental, it's an honest conversation. I'm not as busy because, I don't want to be. And they're like, oh, I'm so busy and I'm doing all this. And, this is actually not doing very well. I should probably use all my energy to do this. And you're like, well, why don't you?
Yeah.
And kind of having that person in that safe space to talk about it.
It's good.
Like one of our devotions was done by Cheryl Cosby, who owns 10 Arrows Coffee. She's an incredible person. Yes, shout out. She's amazing. And she did a devotional that I don't feel like there was a dry eye in our whole group.
That's cool.
Because she was so open and honest about all of her struggles that she'd had. If you look at her from the outside and you don't know her, you just think like she has it all. She has a very successful, precious coffee shop now and she's thriving. But that's not her story. She had a lot of struggle and she worked really hard and raised children while doing it.
Yeah, a lot of children.
A lot of children, yes. And now she's got these grandbabies that she's with. Like even when we went to the bungee class, one of her grandbabies was with her and he was absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
But I just think we don't talk about the struggle and we don't talk about what's really happening and what really is what we want.
Sure.
We look like we're doing a lot. We look like we're busy. And so others think that we're successful. And really that's not always the case.
It's not. And I can even attest for people that by the world standards are very successful, making lots of money, but the rest of their life is not where it needs to be. It's falling apart.
Right.
Marriage is horrible. The relationship with their kids is non-existent. Kids are running off doing whatever. And we're sacrificing everything in our personal life that is supposed to be our first priority and first ministry for the sake of building a business, for the sake of money. And so there's a balance in all of this stuff that a lot of times gets overlooked and missed too. And so it's a slippery slope and easy to fall into that trap. But without people helping see that, and without people allowing people in close enough to you to maybe even speak into your life, a lot of people that are running successful things like that, they have everybody off.
Right.
At a distance where that's not possible. So, so it's important. I mean, it's really important. So if that's somebody today, I encourage you, man, pray, reevaluate, make sure that you're doing what God's called you to do.
And see that if what's important to you is in line with what you're doing, God first, then your family, and then work.
That's a good word.
Yeah, it is. I mean,
word.
she was fantastic talking about it. And everyone that has came and talked has done a great job and opened all our eyes and made a lot of connections.
It's good.
And that's one of the things why I think we've had so much success and why we have over 300 is because women want this.
Yeah.
They want a community that isn't competitive. It's supportive. It encourages God and faith in your life. And we also say, I'm a mother and I'm busy and I'm running crazy and I don't have time for extra stuff. And so we get that and we understand that because, there is so many hours in the day.
Sure.
And we don't want to be like, do this and be a Pinterest mom and run a successful business and have a perfect home and also look great. And we're like, nope. So we got all this going on and, we're flying by the seat of our pants. And it's very honest and raw. And I think that women want that so much, especially with social media.
Yeah.
Because the only thing you see is success.
Yeah, you always see the highlights. No
one says I had a horrible day today. Like I fell flat on my face. Nothing went right.
That's true.
Like it's all, look at all the good stuff.
All the things behind the scenes, the fighting, all the stuff that's going on. Yeah, you just see the highlight reel.
It is. It really is. Because that's life.
Yep.
Life is messy like that.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, we're already out of time. Coming up on the end. It went fast, but I think it's important that people hear what you got. So tell everybody where your group is, how to find it, and if they want to be a part of it, I think they should.
Yeah. So it's Professional Women in Business, Tri-City is the name of it on Facebook. It's a Facebook group. You go in there and you just ask to be a member. It'll pop up a few questions. Like it wants to know if you live or work in the Tri-City area because we want to keep it local.
Sure.
And then also we have a few rules that you have to, say yes to. And then usually me or Lindsay.
Be nice.
Yes, absolutely. Be nice, encouraging. And if you aren't, you'll get a warning. I've had to give one warning before and she felt terrible. It wasn't meant to be, harmful, but it was known. Only nice, encouraging, positive things. Yeah. And then me or Lindsay, usually Lindsay beats me to the punch because she's so quick and will accept you. And so we're growing. And then we meet on the last Wednesday of every month at the social room, which is just over on the shops. Also, shout out to Jennifer Hughes because that's her building that she rents out and she gives it to us every month for free.
That's so cool. Thank you.
She's
awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So we have a space to gather and so go on there, look it up. Even if you feel like, I don't own a business, you don't have to own a business. So one of the ladies who's in there who I love, she jokes that she wanted to be a part of the group, but she was like, but I don't work, But she does work. She just doesn't get paid for it. She is the president of student council.
Oh, yeah.
Or not student council, sorry, PTO.
Okay.
Same thing, I feel like.
Yeah.
She was a homeroom mom. She volunteers at the school all the time. And I told her, I was like,
yeah, that's a lot of work.
If you got paid, you would make good money, but you're a professional volunteer. Yeah. So she's in the group and she always introduces herself as a professional volunteer. So if that's something that you want to be a part of, like even if you work part-time or whatever you want, it's just a great community.
That's awesome.
And participate when you can. We don't, stamp a card of if you come or not. So, but so that's where to find us. Or if not, just reach out to me and I'll send you the group. I've done that several times to other people too. So.
Very good.
Yes.
Well, thank you for joining me today.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
You guys go check out the group. I think it's a wonderful thing in the community and definitely get involved if you want to. So this is going to be it for our podcast today. I'm Pastor Dustin, and while we're on here, I might as well just invite people to the church as well, right? Out of the Box Church.
Yes.
If you don't have a home church, we'd love for you to join us here. We're at 10:30 on Sunday morning and 6:30 on Wednesday nights. And we'd love to have you be able to come be a part and visit. Thanks for being here.
Yes, thank you so much.
Well, thanks for listening, we guys. We love you. We'll see you on the next one, all right? Bye-bye. I want to thank you for listening today to the podcast, and we want to ask you to please rate this podcast wherever you're consuming it at, and also share it. It'd be a blessing to whoever else you can send it to, and we'd appreciate the support. Also, I wanted to invite you to our church here at Out of the Box Church. If you're in the Blanchard area or surrounding areas, we want to invite you to come be a part of what we're doing here at the church. 10:30 Sunday mornings and 6:30 on Wednesday nights. We have service here at the facility. Love to invite you and come be a part of what we're doing here. Also, I want to encourage you to download our church app. It's available wherever you download your apps, whatever app store you're a part of. The Out of the Box Church app is available on either one of those places. And in that church app, you're going to find past messages that you can go on to and check out. You're going to also find all the different outreaches and things that are going on here at Out of the Box Church, and we'd love for you to get involved with. And then also, if you want to support this ministry, if you want to give back to where you're getting fed here, if it's been a blessing to you and you want to sow into what we're doing here and help us reach more people, we'd love for you to do that. And you can do that through that church app, or you can visit our church website. Our church website is outofthebox.church, and there's a tab on there as well for online giving and support. So we'd love to have your support if you can. We want to continue doing what God's called us to in this arena. So thank you for listening. God bless you, and we'll talk soon.